Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Before we get started, check out the comments. Some information there for you. But Kathy, what time is it?
Oh man, Tom, I was going to ask you, what time is it?
I think it's time to transcend.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like the last 3 weeks I have been in a time warp. Not just transcending, but I have been warped somewhere.
Yeah.
How about you?
Um, yeah. In fact, it's kind of almost in a daze. Like there's just so much. I've almost been wanting to unplug as best I can because even when you sort of step away, there's still so much going on. And it's a lot. It's a lot to handle. It really is. So, but on top of it, Kathy, and in addition to all this other stuff happening for you, you have a lot. You've been adding to your plate. So I put in the comments. Kathy has some announcements to make, but I'll let her do it. So she's been really busy working on some things. And Kathy, give us an update.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, the time warp for sure. Not only just personal stuff with spring coming and everybody, the seesaw weather and thinking about, I'm a farmer's daughter. So when spring hits, you get that itch. You're ready to get outside and start planting something. So that's been going on. But on a personal note, boy, I learned with spirit, never say never. I always joked with Tom that I would most likely never ever start my own YouTube channel, but lo and behold, I have a YouTube channel. So,
Yay, Kathy.
it is just Kathy the Breeze Warrior. It literally just went up like 2 days ago, so I'm still working on putting some content in there. And one of the first things that I do to introduce myself is I will be sharing how I got the name the Breeze Warrior. So watch for that. I will uh, have that posted on hopefully by the end of the week. That will be on there so you can all understand where my name came from. So, in addition to that, I have started my business. I've launched a website that is tied to my Square Up account. So I am officially out there, available for bookings for mediumship and Breeze Blend readings, which are mediumship and intuitive psychic readings. And I'm also now I'm trained in how to read Akashic records. So really enjoying those and diving into more of the Akashic records. Um, and it's really helpful with the Akashic records if you have a repeating pattern in your life that you're not understanding why. Why am I always picking the bad guys? Why am I always turning right when I'm meant to turn left? Taking a look at the Akashic records, either in this lifetime or in past lifetimes, can kind of provide you some insight to that. So that is added along with, a few other things. So I will have that posted with a QR code on my website. So when you go, or on my YouTube channel, so when you go check it out, you can grab that QR code and link to my website. So yes, lots of things all happening within like the last 10-15 days. So
Well, when it's the right time, it's the right time. So I know you've been waiting a while to do that, and it's exciting. So while you were talking, I put some messages up from our friends Mere Dragon, Sunshine, Kathy, and Carol, and we have Evan here.
hi,
Hi,
Evan.
Evan. Yeah. So for me, I'll share a little bit about my trip that I got back from Arthur Finley, but I've been busy doing readings and Reiki, so I'm available for both of those online. You can check out my website, which is timetotranscend.com, and you can book readings, psychic mediumship readings, Reiki, or combined sessions. I also do in-person sessions in the Philadelphia area as well as in the Poconos. And real exciting event here, less than a month.
28 days.
Kathy and our friend Bobby, aka Sunshine, are coming to the Poconos, coming to Philadelphia, and then we're going up to my campground, and we're going to be hosting our first live gallery read. We've been doing them on Zoom, but we're doing it live. But 2 days before that, we're going to have a private session at my home with a few folks, and then we have the bigger event at the campground. So really exciting. We're doing that. It's going to be fun, and it's fun working with Kathy. But to be able to do it in person, and we've met in person, and we've been together before, but to do the readings in person is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I know. I started to send Tom and Bobby countdown notices because we're all so excited about this. And then the anxiety hit. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 30 days. Oh my gosh. But it's all good. We are so looking forward to this. Yeah, I think it's the first of many joint venture things that we'll be doing. So.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've both been saying, that we felt February and it was going to be the kickoff to things for like ramping up of what we're doing. And I really feel that that's happening. Couple quick things I did want to comment a little bit on. Before we go into this catching up stuff, we are going to do readings. So if anybody has questions, please put your questions in the comments. For us, like a regular psychic question, we just need the question. And if there's somebody you want us to read about, we would need their name. But if it's a mediumship question and your name is not in your YouTube, your handle, then we would need your name and we would need the person's name that we're reading for. We don't need last names or anything, or any information like birth dates or anything, just their name and your name and what the question is. If it's a mediumship question. So if you guys want to put your questions in the comments, that'd be great. And I want to just share a few things. So yesterday, I think Kathy and I'll share a little bit about Arthur Finley maybe halfway through the show, but Kathy and I have been, we tune into a lot of different spirit, mostly relatives, mostly loved ones. We also get information from our guides and from angels and things. But we've had kind of a special connection that started with me, but it's transferred over to Kathy. So I think we should bring it up a little bit today, don't you? Yeah. There's a lot of things going on in the world, and on a lot of my shorts that I post, I talk a lot about, new ways, new things happening. And it's more than just what I think people are thinking in regards to some of the revealing that's been happening in the political realm. So there's a lot of things that are going to be happening with our galactic friends, but also with some things that happen that are already existing. So there's so much already happening on the earth and in space, so to speak, that have been going on forever, but a lot of that's going to be coming out. And we're by no means the first people to talk about this. It's being talked about by a lot. But about a year ago, I got a contact while I was doing a mediumship reading with, I'm going to call them a furry friend, but a star being who is on the earth. And I just started getting messages from him, and then eventually he reached out to Kathy. So we did a little debrief on that with some other friends. And I know, Kathy, I just want to kind of give the messages more than all the details about him. But the messages really were about, there's a lot of things happening. What Kathy was asking about was there's been a lot of sightings in northern Ohio and western Pennsylvania specifically on the furry people, as I'll call them. But they are star beings. They are ETs. They've been here for a very long time, and they really look out for the Earth. So, Kathy, do you want to just share some of the things we got from that?
Yeah. I just flipped my note page when we did this. So there's a group of 4 of us that have worked together on forensic mediumship, and also we're just, you meet some people that you just automatically click with, and that's that spirit bringing everybody together. So I was really feeling the urge to bring the 4 of us together to look at this. And it just kind of came across my feed. There's been a lot more sheriff and police reports filed with sightings. And I live in Ohio. I live close to Wright-Patterson Day Air Force Base. So if you know, you know. So I thought the spirit guides were like, you guys need to get together and try to reconnect, because we know the entity that Tom and I are familiar with. We know he brought in some other people to help, and we know he's been very busy. So the energies that we got weren't really specific. They were more of a collective. And the messages were, there were messages about frequency. And what they are doing is they're trying to clean up the frequencies. It's like the sun is bringing new energies to the planet. And when it hits the planet on the ley lines, the frequencies sometimes are not pure. They're like a half step. They explained it like sharp and flats. So they can't, they're trying to clean up the gunk out of the frequencies so that the coding and the lights that are coming through can be pure and have greater benefit to humanity. So Tom and I talk about this, so I'm hoping that's what he's wanting. And what another message that they gave was that these energies are meant to connect with Earth and Earth grid. They will, they're exploring and enhancing Mother Earth, and they're pulsing. It's almost like they're exploding energy throughout to humankind and plants and animals, so that we're ready for this next evolutionary step. And the message that came through was, you are learning to tap into infinite resources, not of this earth, but of the universe. So there's a huge expansion going on, and in a very short time frame,
Yeah.
So
and so, like, I'm going to talk more about this, but I haven't shared a lot about this over the last, since I've been on YouTube and with a lot of people, but it was pretty amazing. There's some pretty amazing experiences that I've had. So they all been telepathic. And there's a lot, you can go into a lot of discussion about these beings, but they are here, but they're not what some people think they are. But anyway, we're going to talk more about that later and share some more information, but we just wanted to kind of give you that update. And it kind of goes along with a lot of things I share in the channel. So there's just going to be so many things coming out, so that these files that everyone talks about, they're just the tip of the iceberg. They're just one part of what's going to be revealed more and more as things come out. So, and the other thing, go ahead, Kathy.
The other thing, it's not so much that's what's going to be revealed, it's what's going to be transformed. So as all this garf, if you want to call it that, is being revealed, it's being cleansed and transformed. It's not just frequencies, it's attitudes, it's perceptions, it's as we go through this clearing, cleansing, they're just telling me it's a purification. And with that purification, flipping our mindset to focus more on the light, it allows us to alter our frequency and attain much more than we ever can imagine. So
yeah, and again, make sure if anybody would like a reading to put their questions in the comments so we can get going on that. But yeah, so the other thing too is I've talked a little bit about some hits that I get on events. I haven't really focused on it, but I had gotten a hit, and this is, again, a lot of people have gotten this, but back in November of 2024, it was the middle of the month, and I just got this huge hit I saw a military doing a press conference. And so I really feel like there's going to be some intervention with that. And everything seems to be pointing to that. So, and again, I'm not the only one that said that, but that was something that came forward. And the other thing was, there's going to be some big changes happening. But I don't think we're out of any of the water, so to speak. I think there's still going to be a lot of things we have to go through, but it's what's happening in the political world is just an example of what's happening in a lot of different parts of the society. And what Kathy said, yeah, there's just a transformation going now to transition into mediumship. One thing that I think that's going to be that's happening a lot of people are quote unquote waking up. And waking up could just be like realizing to see the big picture in the world. Like some people are stepping back going, wait a minute, I thought this and now I'm seeing something else. Let me think about this a different way. But it also could be for me, having this awakening like 3 years ago, and these abilities that I had with me, but I didn't realize it. I saw them in a different way coming forth. I think a lot of people will be able to see things more. Mediumship will become more it's available to all, but it'll be easier to tap into, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So listen to your intuition. Don't be scared of that. Don't be, if you feel like you're connecting with somebody maybe that's passed, and don't be afraid of it, is basically what I could say, because all that does is cause resistance. So
right.
yeah, so I think that's going to be really what'll be happening. Just a kind of a different way. The world's changing. We're not going to be the same that we were. And so, yeah, it all comes to what Kathy said earlier, what our friends were telling us. It's about the frequency changes. So there's just a change in the vibration of a lot of things. And we're sort of like ascending. We're above where we were before, so to speak. That's the way I could put it.
Yeah. Well, and I want to preface this, of course it's entertainment only and all that. This is nothing new. There's a lot of people on YouTube, psychics and otherwise, that have been, promoting this. But the message that always comes through for us, this is from a loving place, a place of expanding our knowledge, expanding our awareness, increasing our frequencies. This is not a time to lean into fear. We are all light workers, and we are all safe wherever we are. What's meant to be, where we are, where we're meant to be, and we're doing what we're meant to be. So don't like if you live in an earthquake zone, don't just think, oh, I got to move. Listen to your inner gut and your spirit, what they're telling you. And in this way, I'm kind of, there was a question from Daisy Pop.
Yeah, I was going to put that up, and when we're done talking here.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll tie back around to that. But all of this, in all of our channelings and all of our connecting, none of this has been the least bit fearful or directions on you need to do this or this right now. No, it's all been just, this is what's going on. We're presenting this so you're aware of it. You are safe. You are loved. And yeah, everyone that I've connected with, I'm sure Tom will mirror this. They highly respect not only Earth, but the humans. I mean, in a sense, we are their children. So there's no animosity there. They are happy to do this work. They are happy to be here and serve us, in this way. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there too.
Yeah, and I just feel that, it's more open to talk about this kind of thing, and don't be afraid to bring it up. There's people out there that would like to talk about it, and the more we talk about it, the easier it is, and it's less of a issue. So,
Well, I
oh,
will mention just real quick that I will be giving a talk in May. I've been asked to do a presentation. And I think what a lot of people need to realize that we've been so inundated with not understanding that we do have a purpose here. We did choose to come here at this time. It wasn't just a random happen chance that you were born into the family you were born into. So when we were talking about people awakening, just that realization that, maybe I don't have to perform this ritual to connect somewhere, or maybe if I do connect, it's there's I'm just going to say it. I personally don't believe there's any what they call evil. So just changing people's awareness that maybe all the lessons they've been taught through the generation, it's okay to question that. Let's look at the laws of the laws of the universe, and a lot of people aren't even aware of those.
I just literally, as you said that, I love when this happens. I pulled the universe card.
Yeah. So, and just a lot of people don't even believe that there's life on any planet other than here. That's probably 90% of the people in my community. So just having that awareness that there is something greater out there, and it might not be exactly the way we've been taught. Yeah.
Right. So just, stay grounded, and ask questions and be open. So, well, let's get started with our first question here. And we have a question from Daisy Pop. Daisy, if you're still here, if you could just let us know in the comment. Question is, what potential challenges should I prepare for in terms of my finances? Thank you. Now, if you're asking a question specifically around yourself, or is this a question around like what might be happening? That I really don't know if I could go to, but if it's just a personal question about your own challenges, we can answer that. So if you're still here, if you could let us know.
I'm being reminded, Pam Gregory is an astrologer. She's in England. She just has a wonderful presence, and she is very connected in. And she has said for many years that everybody, just on the practical side of things, you should always have a couple of weeks worth of food, a couple of weeks worth of water put back, a couple of weeks worth of cash on hand. Nothing extravagant. I mean, please don't, be a prepper or decide you have to do this or that, because, you have to go with whatever your own instinct is telling you. But those are just some practical things, to have a couple of weeks worth of supplies and resources available. And again, I'm a farmer's daughter, so we kind of always did that anyway. You put everything up in the fall, and then you eat on it all winter. But it wasn't a hoarder or a prepper type mentality. It's just, not only are you keeping a couple weeks for yourself, but there might be somebody in your community that has a need that you can share with. So
And I'm getting in relation to this question, Daisy Pop. Also, I feel like it's a matter of kind of reassessing what you need and what you would like to have. So, maybe looking back and deciding, you want to prepare for your finances, you want to have things in the right order, but also realizing, like, do I really need that thing? Or maybe there's things that I have that I can use in a different way. So I think looking at things in a new way would be a good way to handle it, because it'll give you a new perspective on what you may need and what would be make you comfortable, or or is there some things that maybe you don't really need that you would like to have. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. And she just said, in addition to current events, she'll be preparing for retirement in the next 5 to 7 years. So I am retired. And it is scary when you step out there, but I just trust that spirit is, if I have a need, that it's going to be provided, or I'm going to be led to it. And I know that's a pie in the sky type answer, but when you commit yourself like this, it works. Yeah.
And also, as you're still working, maybe there's some things that you do in your job that you really like, and there's a lot maybe you don't like, or maybe there are some things you like, but there's something in there, there's some passion in there that you like, or there's a hobby that you do. So what I would suggest is, if you can gear yourself toward that, because you might find that passion maybe will be something that you would like to do, uh, when you're retired, meaning that might turn into something. So that could turn into just a hobby, or it could turn into a way to feel useful, or to the community. But then again, it might actually turn into some extra income too. So I would think that maybe, I do think a lot of us are going to be living longer. And so we are, but I feel like it's going to be extended too. So we need to think about not necessarily working a 40-hour week, but maybe finding something that's within your passion that you like
Yeah.
to do, you might want to continue to do. So
Yeah, and I was just going to tie in with that. You've got time now to kind of explore things. I get that you're pretty creative, maybe artistically, but you've always kind of set it on the back burner. I'm also getting a connection with earth, plants, and I'm not sure, maybe landscaping or something, but you have that artistic flair, just what goes together, or how to plant a garden, or a scale. I see like living plants and stuff involved in this too. So, if there's a class that comes across in your community that you're interested in, take it. You know, the more knowledge that you can grab onto now just gives you more tools in your toolbox for later. So I hope that helps.
yeah, I hope that helps. So we have another question here. Marfel 11111. Hello, Tom and Kathy. You both look well. Thank you. May I please ask what you see coming through on my timelines and higher path, my next steps to alignment?
I just heard the word trust.
And I was also seeing there's a lot of angels around you. You have a lot of support.
Yeah, I'm getting that you need more quiet time or grounding time, because you keep your mind busy. And they're saying that when they do, you are connected. But when you do get a message, sometimes you're like, did I really hear that? Was that right? You kind of go into that tailspin of, um, again, they're showing me, telling me the word trust. So kind of quiet the mind. So when you do hear something, jot it down on a piece of paper, or a journal, even if it's just a thought or a concept, or you're busy with something and all of a sudden a word hits you that doesn't pertain to anything that you're doing.
Yeah,
Like if you're,
I saw you sitting at a table and like turning your head, like, where did that come from? Like,
yeah,
like, wow, did I hear something? Or so I feel like you're getting messages. And so, yeah, like Kathy said, listen, that's your intuition, your guides. And I see angels around you. So there are support. You have support.
yeah, yeah. And hey, I'm the worst one at remembering to ground myself. So grounding is not an easy thing to do and to keep in your forefront. So again, grounding, I think, will help you uh, purge some of the questions so that you understand when something comes in, pay it, write it down, pay attention to it, don't question it.
She
So,
says, yes, absolutely happens. I'm always looking around, darting my head.
yeah, I keep, I was doing this.
Like, oh, where's that come from? So yeah, I think that's definitely the messages. And your question is on you asked about your higher path. I feel that these messages are kind of like, I feel like they're nudges, but I also feel like if you're not listening to them, they might get more than a nudge. You might get a stronger message. So, like I had my message I got before I quit drinking. I actually tore my rotator cuff. So don't let it go that far. I'm sure I won't, but I was knocked to the ground, and I still don't know how that happened. But if I would have been listening to the small messages, so I feel like you are listening to them, and I feel like they are nudging you into your next your work that you'll be doing. I also feel that some of the work you're doing now is components of what you are going to be doing. And I think also I see people see that in you. They come to you with questions, and they come to you wanting to know things. And I almost feel like it surprises you at times. But but that's what I see coming around for you.
Yeah. And I will share this too. I've been thinking about a website and all this since for the last 2 or 3 months. And it was like, nah, no, that's a lot of work. I don't know if I want to do this. And it's just like within the last 17 days, I woke up, everything was just flowing, and it was like, boom, I just came into the computer and started sitting down, and it was just flowing. I feel like that's going to happen with you too. That once you kind of learn to take a deep breath and trust what you're getting, everything will just be going boom, 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 boom. That alignment you won't even realize it's already there.
I hope that helps, Marfo 111. Yeah, I hope that helps you a little bit on your way. A couple more people have jumped in here that I wanted to just say hi. Well, Daisy Pop said, thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for the coming in, and thanks for the question. Our good friend Richie's here. So Richie and Fogo Pogo, aka Callie. Hello.
Hi, Kelly. And Jules.
Jules is here. Hi, nice to see you. Okay, let's go back to the questions. Oh, we have a question from Maria Dawn.
Hi, Maria.
Would love a message from my guides or angels. I just heard step into your light. Step into your light.
Are you thinking about expanding your like Reiki energy or healing energy. I kind of feel like there's something you're thinking about doing, but you're keeping it undercover, you know? And you kind of want to do it, and you are stepping out a little bit, but you're doing it under the cover of, okay, I'm asking them to help me explain it a little bit differently. Okay, everybody knows you may like cherry pie. And so every time you go to an event, you take a cherry pie, but secretly you really like blueberry pie too. So you're sneaking a piece of blueberry pie every time you go somewhere and kind of hoping nobody notices. And once they start noticing it, they're going to look at you and go, "Oh, well, that's kind of cool." It'll just naturally kind of be a part, so now it'll be cherry pie as well as, blueberry pie. I must be hungry. I'm using that as an example. But I feel like the things that you're doing covertly are not bad. They're great things, and people are going to accept them. So
Yeah,
the more you do it, the more natural it will be, and you'll just reach a point where they're going to accept it or not, and you're not going to worry about it.
yeah, and I feel like when going back to the stepping into your light, I also was seeing, those movie production where there's like all those lights flashing, like they used to have, like tonight's the premiere. I feel like not just stepping into your light, but stepping into the more on the forefront, because going on what Kathy's saying, it's basically the same thing, is that you have so much to offer, and any trepidation, I feel like there's some like hesitancy, like should I, like dipping your foot in the water to see if you want to jump in the water. I just feel like you already should be in the water. um you know I feel like that you have so much to offer, and I'm also getting, when I said water, now I also get, you really take things to a deep level. So don't be afraid of that. And if not everybody understands it, it's not for you to stop doing it. It's almost like you're leading people into a new level of understanding. So go ahead and go deep. And if they need explanation, they need explanation, but keep doing that, because you're going to offer people a whole new way of thinking. And and also it's going to deepen your understanding. You continually work in that realm. It's just going to make it even easier for you to do that work.
I'm also picking up, Maria, that they're up there and they're cheering, they're applauding, because you've already made some huge steps that a year ago you would not have done. So they're acknowledging that you are on a good path. You're on the right path. And I know there's some possibly some events coming up that a year ago you probably wouldn't have done. And they're cheering you on with that. And they're saying this is not a baby step for you, it's a giant leap. And they are fully behind you. And you have a lot of angelic and a lot of spirits. So, yay.
Yeah, I hope that helps. And I was want to also, Marfa, who we just read for, said thank you so much. That really gave me some clarity. So
Thank you.
And then we got a comment from Maria. Beautiful, so helpful, very grateful. This makes perfect sense. So yeah, I mean, just stand your ground, and stand in your light, and just let all this flow to you, because you have so much to give to others. You really do. Okay, scrolling back. Did I miss anybody? Let's see here. Oh, we have Mere Dragon. Any messages from loved ones? Who are there? Please, thank you, Tom and Kathy. So if there is someone in particular that you would like to get a message from, if you could put their name, your first name, and their first name in the comments, that would be helpful. Would you, if you want to do that, we'll look for it. Oh, Daryl and Lou. And those are both the people you would like, and you're okay.
Did Lou just pass over fairly recently?
Oh, Lou is her name.
Okay. Well, obviously he didn't pass over very recently. Did you just recently do something that was kind of out of character for you? Like book a trip or buy something, or someone is saying that you're trying something different and they're excited for you on that. This is more a guides thing. I'm getting travel, like maybe taking a road trip or something that just out of the blue, you're like, oh, I'm going to go here for a day. Not a big trip, but kind of
This Daryl, was he somebody that you traveled with, or because I'm getting that he's going to be along with the ride, like going along with it, enjoying seeing you do things.
Yeah, I feel like you've been cooped up for a little bit, or not so much cooped up, but restricted in some way. And I don't get it was a self-imposed restriction. I get it was there were things you had to take care of, and now you can get a couple hours to yourself or a day or two to yourself, and rather than stay home and sleep and relax, um, you're choosing to step outside a little bit and get away, and everybody's cheering that on.
This Daryl, I feel like might have been somebody that you were she's saying here, I bought back Daryl's house that failed from his will. Very happy, not sure about the travel, but he wanted his ashes spread up his states. I was getting that there was that, you know, this time with Daryl got cut short. I think there was more of a planning that this would be, you guys would have known each other longer, and but I feel like he's enjoying seeing you doing what you're doing. Let's see if I get something more specific.
Is there a window in this house that like looks out? I'm getting like bird feeders or nature, or and it was a window that he very much maybe he set his chair by it or something, and he would look outside. I'm just seeing this really pretty like bird feeder activity where he could look outside and see things going on, and he's very happy that you will be there. because he's going to be looking out that window, kind of like over your shoulder. And he knows it'll bring you great joy.
I was getting that maybe was he a little immobile toward the end of his life? Um, because maybe the travel was around him, because I feel like he was the kind of person that liked to be more out and about. Um, and and he wasn't able to do that. And she's saying here, yes, I'm sitting on now every day with birds and feeders. Oh, and then she said, yes, he was bedbound for 6 months. Yeah, so he was. I felt like he was, you know, unable to do what he wanted to do. So he's enjoying seeing you do it. And I think also I'm getting is to do this, do whatever you're planning on doing, do it while you can still. I feel like he's saying while you can still walk, and not that means, meaning that you still, like I always tell people, I went to Machu Picchu 10 years ago. I probably could still go now. I probably could go maybe in another 10 years, but in 20 years, I don't know if I could go to Machu Picchu. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he said, right. He wished he was able to travel, but not, he always wished to travel, but not able later in his time. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's saying like, do the travel now, while you can.
Did I think he may have named a bird or something Charlie? I'm just getting the word Charlie. He goes, yeah, he goes, keep an eye on that bird Charlie for me. And definitely very happy that you are there, and very happy that you were I'm getting you were very close to him. But very happy that you were in his life those all the time, but especially those last months. So he's just sending you all kinds of love, and he's telling you he is okay over there, that he is out and about, and he's showing me skipping. I don't know if that means something to you, but skipping and riding a bike. So he's enjoying that feel of the freedom and the wind, and the just no place in particular to go, but just enjoying being able to do that. So
and I'm seeing him with all that in nature. Like he really liked being, like, again, going back to what you were saying about this garden and the feeders and stuff. So he really enjoyed that. So and spirit can manipulate birds. So when less people say, well, the bird came to me when I was thinking about somebody, that, more than likely is a message. So I'm sure he's going to be, you're going to be connecting with him in more ways than you thought you would, but he's around.
Yeah. He must have been kind of a character, because he goes, yeah, I'm around, but in a good way, not a spooky way. So don't worry about a spooky way.
Yeah, I'm also getting that he was pretty educated, like well read, like he was. So when he was in bedbound, he actually was able to kind of think back on some of the things that he had done, and his mind was very sharp. He had a very, very good, he could really talk a lot about a lot of things. So she said, not sure about Charlie, but he loved nature and wildlife. So I see he's still doing that. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I hope that helps. Anything else, Kathy?
No, just thank you for that question. He's a really special person, here and there. So.
Oh, she said, oh yeah, that's beautiful. He was an English major. Yeah, I just saw well read. That's what I heard. So, like a lot of books around, like you'd see in somebody's library. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah, thank you for that question. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, thank you. We have another question from, which we don't mind, because let's see, we don't have any new questions. So we have
Uh,
another question from Daisy Pop.
Sunshine has one up there too
Oh, Sunshine. Where's Sunshine at?
at 244. It's really hard, guys. It's one of my uh, anxiety things about YouTube. Not really anxiety, but it's like when you're trying to watch the chat and stay connected.
She says, I have no problem visualizing. I also get visions. I'm very interested in remote viewing. Is it leading to this? And what is the difference from visions coming to me versus focused viewing? Well, I think, well, I'll just say this from what, and Kathy jump in, but I mean, there's flashes of insight, or there's information that comes to you that you weren't expecting. And then tuning into, like with mediumship, you're tuning into a person's energy, and then you're getting images from that. I think what you're speaking of is kind of the work that people do with forensics around, like solving cases and looking for things. By making a mark, like making a mark and looking at a mark is what I'm getting. But go ahead.
What I'm getting is that there is a subtle change, and you're going to start picking up on it more and more. When it's in a remote view type thing, because right now I think you're feeling like the energies are very similar, and it's hard to distinguish between what's a remote view and what's a vision. And they're saying that the more you experience this, the more you'll be able to differentiate the two. But to remote view is no interaction. It's like you're seeing the scene and you're watching it play out, but you're not part of it. You're just witnessing it. There might be emotion tied to it because you're gaining some understanding of what's playing out, but you aren't there in it. And then they're saying a vision is more interactive, where you are actually talking back and forth and doing a task, or you are part of the scene, kind of like a dream.
Like a lucid dream.
Lucid dreams, where you may even be awake or have your eyes open. And I do this in my younger years quite a bit. But even if you tried to close your eyes, you still see the scene playing out, but you're a very active part of it. So, but I'm getting the distinct impression that, again, lots of like cheering, jumping up and down, and just doing this and being able, they want you to be able to distinguish the feel of those two events, or separate. The more you do it, the more you'll be able to understand.
And I'm hearing the word objective. So I believe what this is pointing you to your ability to be objective with things and looking at from the outside. And that ability that you already have is going to allow you to do this work. So you will be able to separate sort of the emotional part of it, which is when you're doing a mediumship or you're connecting with a loved one, there's a lot of emotion. Not that there won't be emotion when you're finding something out about, let's say, a difficult situation, but I heard the word objective. So I feel like that's something that will be helpful for you.
I'm also seeing this as like a leap forward, that there'll be other situations that not only healing, but foresight, foresight vision, that that you'll be able to understand, and not so much predict what will happen, but you're going to intuitively know through this viewing. and it'll make, when that event transpires, it'll make things easier for people that are impacted, because you will have already seen it and you will know what to do to help them. I hope that makes sense.
I hope that well, she said that makes perfect sense. Thank you. Yeah. So let's see here. Okay, we got a thank you, Sunshine. And we have a hello from Jeffrey Peck.
Nice. Hi, Jeffrey.
Nice to see you here. Okay, we're going to go back. I think this will be our last question. Oh, one more comment from Sunshine. She says, thank you. Sometimes I feel like a participant and sometimes an observer. This really helps.
Yeah. And I just want to shout out to our dear friend Tia. She's watching. So, and to all those that are watching but not in the chat, hi.
Yeah, hi, everyone. Okay, so we have here Daisy Pop. If I may ask another question, any messages for my grandmother Jean or stepfather Tom? My name is Kelly.
Okay.
This Tom, did Tom like working on his lawn? I don't know why I was seeing like a working on a outside or something.
I'm seeing like a whole collection of hats, but I don't know if he's trying to show me that he'd like different hats and he had a whole wall of them, or if he wore a lot of different hats. Kind of like a jack of all trade, master of none type energy. If that's resonating.
She says he disliked to mow. Yeah, because he was like going like this to the grass. That's interesting. I'll go. So what about, you mentioned about the hats? I'm getting that Tom was somebody that when he was passionate for something, like there was things that he really cared about, but there were things that he just could care less about. And I feel like the message there is to find your passion, but also take care of, don't forget to take care of some things. I feel like some things he may have not tied up the loose ends with, or he kind of, it wasn't that he was, he didn't care, but he was passionate about certain things.
I'm also getting, this is a woman, not an old woman, probably somebody in her 50s or so, stepping forward. And in her hand, she has like a sewing hoop and like doing intricate embroidery work or needle work. And some of it was practical, but some of it was just really pretty. Even though it was like a mending task, she'd like to make it a little extra special, or she would put an extra little flower or leaf or something. Like maybe she had a little signature of things, so whenever she would give it away, somebody would know it was hers, or was from her. I don't know if that's resonating.
I'm also getting that the stepfather, Tom, was kind of somewhat of a comedian, or somebody who liked to find something about somebody and know something about. He remembered little things about people. And that he's saying that you possibly do the same thing, that you do that, and he sees that, and he says that's important because people remember you that way because you take that extra step. But he says you do it better than me because of being a guy. He said I think he was afraid to show some of that sometimes. Daisy's saying it may be an aunt, Mary Ann.
I did she's showing me like I'm not sure if it was an initial or a design, but she's showing me a man's handkerchief that she had put, I think it's initials on it, and whoever she gave it to, it was a joke back and forth because he goes, this is going to be my favorite snot rag now, and she was just always kind of appalled that, he would just dirty that thing like that when it was supposed to be something of beauty, and he was keeping it the way it was, practical. So it's kind of like little digs back and forth. Was this maybe Tom's sister? You said it was your aunt. I get there's a connection with Tom there, and it would be playful ribbing back and forth. And they're saying, they're still up there doing the same kind of the little quirks back and forth of very much love, very cared for each other. And she's actually kind of putting her hands on her hip like this and going, now I showed you how to do this, and this would help center yourself. So she's encouraging you to pick up a needle and some thread.
What I'm hearing from him is I just heard keep things light. Like don't get wrapped up in keep things positive, and life's too short. That's the message I'm getting from him. So I always look at the bright side is also what I'm getting. So
yeah. And I'm getting from her, don't let yourself get too scattered. She says a lot of times you have energy that's going towards this and this and this and this. And she said at the end of the day, do something that will pull all that together. And she goes, that's why she did the embroidery and the needlework and stuff, because it allowed her not only a few minutes to herself, but she could also focus on that and answer questions, or focus on that and watch a TV show. But it kind of centered her. And she's saying that find something that will center you, and that will help. Maybe you're not sleeping so well at night, or maybe you're have a lot of irons in the fire, but that will allow you to take a breath.
Yeah, and I pulled this passion ignited. So find your passion. And then I got this card here, and I'm just going to read it. My greatest good and what is meant for me will never miss me. My greatest good and what is meant for me will never miss me. So, again, look what makes you happy and what you need. And what Tom is saying is keep things light, keep things funny, don't take things so seriously.
Yeah.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, I hope that helps. Very good things. I see a lot of good things for you in there. Again, just sending you love and encouragement. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for staying with us the whole time. That's great. I wanted to say I have my friend Jordan here. Hi, Jordan. I'm not sure you're going to be up at camp, but if you are, we're going to be doing our big reading at camp this summer on May 9th. So if you're there, check it out. But it's great to see you. Thanks for coming in. And there has been a couple people logged in on Instagram. I have somebody that I know here, E Glover 32 was on, and if you guys, we didn't get any questions from you, but nice to see you there. And Max Mystical Creations is also on Instagram, so thanks for logging in.
Yeah. I just want to say hi to Luna Wolf too. Gosh, I haven't seen or talked to you in forever, so welcome. Hi.
Yeah, hi. And then we got one more. Fogo Pogo just said she went for a walk and it's beautiful. So, oh, we got a nice here. Mir Dragon says the readings are amazing. Thank you. Yeah, well, thank you for being on. And I, also, Mir Dragon, I appreciate all your you make a lot of comments on some of the things I where things I post, and I really appreciate that. You know, the messages that I get, you know, these writing that I do or the channeling, I post those, and they've been helpful for me. So I'm glad they speak to others as well.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to really share anything about Arthur Finley, but I'll leave one thing here, since we'll share that next time. This little armband that I had, and this kind of goes along with one of the readings we did today. So always find things you want to say or things you want to do. Make sure they're kind, they're necessary, and they're true. Mm-hmm. They're kind, they're necessary, and they're true. So that's my message from Arthur Finley. And Kathy, do you have any final parting thoughts?
I do. I just reached over and pulled a card. I mean, literally, I just reached over and grabbed it. And a message for all of us. And the message, it's a beautiful card. I hope you can see it. But the message is to create aspiration, aspiration, expression, and exploration. Create. So
yeah, live your passion, find what makes you happy, and do that. And and if and don't worry about what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter what others think. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. That's what matters. So next time, I think we'll talk a little bit more about our friend Ben and some of the messages there, and more about what we're doing. And I think Kathy and I are going to try to do this on a semi-regular, maybe twice a month on a certain day, so we kind of keep a schedule. But I don't like doing schedules anymore. I did that for so many years. I like just to kind of free float. But thanks a lot, and we'll be on probably again before our big event in May. So thanks a lot, and check out Kathy's channel at Kathy-the Breeze Warrior and subscribe to it. If you're not subscribed to mine, subscribe to mine. And if you're interested in a reading or a Reiki session, please check out my website, timetotranscend.com. And Kathy can be contacted by thebreezewarrior@gmail.com for readings.
Right. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Oops. End stream.